As always, with the brand new season update, we got a bunch of different legend balancing changes and also the brand new legend. My friends, the power gap between the worst legend and the best legend in Apex is closer than ever. Keep in mind, this is going to be a non-ranked list, and even if your legend happens to be towards the bottom or at the very bottom of my list, do not change your main by any means because you can succeed with any legend in Apex now. Unfortunately, normally the comment section of these legend and weapon ranking videos are filled with a bunch of little snowflakes that are just so upset that their favorite legend that they had an affair with got put a couple spots too low on the list. This commentary is being recorded pretty soon after the Season 6 update, so what I ask is that it would be pretty cool if you give me some honest feedback about this list in the comments below. Usually after a season update, quite obviously it takes us a while to figure out the true meta. But anyways, I think this list should be decently close to the meta of Apex, but it'd be pretty cool to get a little bit of feedback as I said. So without further delay, let's get into ranking every legend in Apex from worst to best. I'm Alarmix, and let's get into the video. There are now 14 legends in Apex, and what is in my opinion the worst legend. You can still absolutely clap people with this legend. It's just for the average player, this is probably the worst. So at number 14 we have Mirage. The Mirage rework quite obviously made Mirage way better. Sometimes it can be so funny to activate Mirage's ultimate ability and just sit there and watch the reaction of the other player. Mirage does have quite huge potential, but quite often I see him misused. It's just that Mirage is more of an offensive legend, and still sometimes the enemies can quite easily tell what is his decoy and what is not, and at that point Mirage is pretty much useless. Moving on, the number 13 and 12 spot, they were pretty much neck and neck. I was having quite a hard time telling which legend to talk about next. So kind of like what I was saying at the beginning of the video, it'd be kind of cool to get some non-triggered snowflake feedback in the comments below. But anyways, what I put at the number 13 spot is Octane. Octane is now the fastest legend in Apex. You can chase down pretty much anybody, but I think he still has the same problems that he had before his speed boost buff and his ultimate ability buff. When you hit his stim, it literally takes away his health, and also you're super loud and the enemies are gonna have a pretty easy time telling where you're coming from. And also while you're flying in the air, I find it pretty easy to laser Octanes. Octane can now stim while he's healing, you know, I mean that was a pretty cool buff, but I do feel that he needs another one just like that, some other sort of buff. You know, like with Mirage, they have it to where he's invisible now when he's reviving. Personally, what I would do with Octane right now is take away that additional noise that Octane sends out when he's using his tactical ability. It seems like when I'm playing Octane, right as I hit his stim, the enemies poke out from cover. They know exactly where you're coming from. I feel like that damage you receive when you're using his stim is enough incentive to not be constantly using it. I really don't think you should be giving out extra noise when you use Octane's stim. Moving on to the number 12 spot, like I said, I was a little bit conflicted whether to have Octane here or Loba. I feel like in Season 5, Loba was quite easily one of the worst legends. Her hitbox was huge, her head was super easy to hit, and also her ultimate ability took a minute and a half to regenerate. At the Season 6 update, they cut Loba's ultimate ability cooldown in half. Now every 90 seconds you can use Loba's ultimate, but still when you use Loba's tactical ability, you get that giant blue indicator on exactly where you're going to land. Sometimes I teleport and people literally have me pre-aimed right where I'm gonna land. There are obviously some ways to prevent this, like clicking before you actually get to where the bracelet lands, or you can just throw yourself into cover. But if you happen to not do that, you're pretty much dead. You also are extremely vulnerable while you are using your tactical ability before it lands. I've met a couple of really good Loba players, but I still think that she's one of the worst legends and she could still certainly use a buff. At number 11, we have Rampart. I do not think Rampart is obviously the best legend, but I also don't think she's the worst. She's extremely annoying to deal with sometimes, but her abilities can be countered pretty easily. You can just pop the amped cover with any sort of damage and it's gone. You can also nade her ultimate and she's dead. I'm gonna compare Rampart's defensive capabilities to that of Caustic. The defenses take a little bit of time to get set up. Once they get set up, they're kind of insane. I've ran into so many Ramparts in pubs, and I think I'm still yet to be killed by her ultimate ability. But I think my favorite ability on Rampart is gonna have to be her passive. I love using the L-Star, the Spitfire, and even the Devotion, of course, with Rampart. I mean, my people, once you get to the point where you have a fully decked out Devotion and then you're using Rampart, I'm pretty sure there's no better setup in the entire game. It's completely insane. My friends, at the number 10 spot, we have the one and only forgotten lady herself, Bangalore. At the Season 6 update, they took Bangalore's ultimate ability cooldown from 4.5 minutes to 3. I don't think Bangalore's ultimate ability is really for killing people mostly. I think it's mostly just a giant stun grenade that can also weaken people. I mean, already here on the list, we're already talking about a legend that can compete with absolutely any legend in the game. If you choose Bangalore in the legend selection screen, you are at absolutely zero disadvantage versus any other legend in the entire game. Bangalore is absolutely solid. When I'm playing Bangalore, I always feel safe because if I happen to get jumped, my passive ability is going to automatically activate, and also if I get weak, I can just pop smoke, even throw my ultimate ability way in front of me and then run through it, and no one is going to chase me down. Next on our list, this man's actually got a couple of secret nerfs, you could say. At number 8, we have Caustic. Now the Watson ultimate ability will actually destroy Caustic traps mid-air. Also, as you probably know, you can now shoot out Caustic traps before they fully deploy. I think Caustic used to be so good because there were so many Caustic players, and the only way to counter Caustic truly when he was at his prime was to use Caustic so you don't take damage to his gas. That's kind of why, to be quite honest, I used to play so much of Caustic, is just because I got so annoyed of Caustic. But now you don't really have that huge advantage of not having to worry about Caustic gas because not as many people play him anymore. I think it's kind of neck and neck between Watson and Caustic being the best defensive legend, but now I think I would prefer Watson because obviously her ultimate ability is going to take care of all of the throwables, it's going to charge your shields, and also you can instantly close off doorways. Sometimes with Caustic it can be a little bit of a pain if you're getting chased or if you need to quickly close off a doorway, because now, like I was saying, you can shoot out Caustic traps before they fully deploy. Moving on to the number 7 spot, this legend also I think got a couple of secret nerfs. Here on the list we have Revenant. Now they actually did quite decently nerf the Crypto, Wraith, and Revenant squad push. Crypto's EMP will now stun your own teammates. Also Wraith's ultimate portal, now that has a longer cooldown. And also once you get back to the totem, you have to wait an additional 2 seconds to use Wraith's portal. So that entire super OP squad push, that certainly took a decent nerf. But Revenant is still going to be quite obviously a solid choice in pubs. You can use his tactical ability and put it in doorways so people can't push you, and if they do push you, they're gonna lose their abilities. Being silenced is so amazingly annoying, and the death totem is still an amazing push. It's also super annoying when all of a sudden a Revenant sneaks up behind me when he's crouching. I think Revenant has finally reached the perfect state in Apex Legends. My friends, at the number 6 spot on the list, we have Bloodhound. I think last season this legend was okay. I think the huge problem has always been that Bloodhound is just kind of super easy to headshot. But now my people, as you probably know, Bloodhound got a quite decent buff in Season 6. Now when you kill someone when your ultimate ability is active, it'll extend the ultimate ability duration by 15 seconds. Also now you have kind of unlimited wall hacks while your ultimate ability is active. It only takes 0.9 seconds to use your tactical while your ultimate ability is active, and you can use it every 6 seconds. I've always kind of said that Bloodhound's ultimate is one of the best in the game, and now I think it certainly makes a case for the best. Bloodhound can be kind of vulnerable in the open, but if you have your ultimate ability active, you can move places quickly. I think if you stick with your team and have like a Bangalore nearby, or like a Gibraltar with his bubble, or like a Wraith ulti, you can get around how kind of easy it is to kill Bloodhound in the open. I think this legend is going to be pretty annoying to deal with in Season 6. My friends, at the number 5 spot, we have Crypto. According to the patch notes, it seems that Respawn meant to give Crypto a buff in Season 6 with all of his changes that he received. They made the drone bigger, but now it has double the hit points. Also, as I said before, now the EMP will affect your teammates. But my people, now you can use the Respawn beacon with Crypto's drone, and now as I'm sure you know, you can use survey beacons, and it's pretty much an instant survey beacon scan. Assuming you do not hit your teammates with your own EMP, Crypto received, I think, a buff in Season 6, and I think is going to be a decent bit better than last season. I think I've disrespected Crypto just a little bit in the past. I do realize that he was good in the past, but I think he's so annoying now this season. I've been dealing with so many Crypto players and getting, you know, I'm just gonna say, people, a little bit mad. What do you guys think about having Crypto at the number 5 spot? What do you think about my list? Let me know what you think in the comments below. It'd be pretty cool. The 4th best legend in my opinion, even though saying my opinion means absolutely nothing to the snowflakes watching this video, here on the list we have Watson. Yes, as I was saying before, I'm not going to explain it fully again. I think Watson is the best defensive legend in Apex now. I feel like Watson has fallen off the map just a little bit from her former glory, but I think when you choose Watson, if one of your teammates choose Watson, you absolutely have just a little bit of a better chance to win that game. If your team happens to get in just a little bit of a pickle, if you all are almost one hit. If there's a building nearby, Wattson can close off doorways, throw down that ulti, and will give your team such a just higher chance to heal up. I feel like there's no more explaining needed for this legend. Moving on to number 3, here we have Gibraltar. Gibby has been receiving a couple of nerfs over the last few seasons, and now they took the cooldown of his ultimate ability from 3 minutes to 4.5 minutes. But my people, if you need cover, Gibby is still there for you. If you need to attack, if you need to offend, Gibby is an excellent legend. I love how Gibby fits into the meta. Being able to heal faster, revive faster in the bubble, it is all just so good. This man can soak up so much damage with his gun shield, with his fortified perk. I did gameplay for every single legend in Apex and put it together for you as you see in this video. That took so long to do, people. That is so much extra time. But out of all of my games with all of the legends, I got a 17 kill game with Gibby. So I mean, I'm just saying, people, maybe, I mean, just hinting a little bit, maybe that was just because of Gibby, maybe because he's just that good. We have 2 legends left. We have Lifeline and Wraith. Who is gonna take the crown? Who is the best legend in Apex IMO? Unfortunately, this video is gonna have the boring ending. It is gonna be Wraith. They did nerf Wraith a little bit in season 6, and I do really think she really just needed it so bad. It took the cooldown of her ultimate ability from 2.5 minutes to 3.5 minutes. Even though that Wraith can't instantly phase shift anymore, thank goodness. I feel like she's a little bit more offensive oriented now. You can see people while you're in the void, and you can move faster, so you can chase people down, you can run away faster. I really don't feel like Wraith's tactic ability change was a nerf. I mean, I think maybe it was a little bit of a nerf, but not a huge one. People with Lifeline, I feel like the more and more I play against her in pubs, the more and more annoying I realize she is. I feel like them Lifeline mains are just kind of figuring out how to master Lifeline. It is so very annoying in pubs when you're on the brink of death, you get it down, your hopes are looking up, but then all of a sudden Lifeline uses her ability to revive a teammate. I think Lifeline's ultimate ability is easily one of the worst in the game, but that revive ability is, it's just so, I mean, is it OP, people? I mean, it is so annoying to deal with. If you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, it'd be super cool if you hit the subscribe button below this video. Also, it'd be really cool if you give me some feedback on this legend ranking video. I feel like we are still figuring out the season 6 legend meta, and I mean, I should title this video a too early ranking, but I guess I'm not going to. Anyways, my Alarmy, that'll be about it for me, the Alarmix, and I'll see you guys in the next video.